clap for your supreme leader. Yes, North Koreans, they clap for Kim Jong-un like this. Nah, but seriously, hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Serge Gnabry's back, and guess what? No, we're not only talking about Serge Gnabry being back. Someone just said that. I mean, that's disrespectful. That is so disrespectful to me. I feel appalled. I feel like the nonsense that came out of your mouth is not me, but seriously, Gnabry's back. I mean, I made the video like 2 days ago about the COVID confusion, and let me just say, I predicted it. Now, we bended the rules. Something happened because the Germany rules state that if you got the virus or you came into contact with someone that had the virus, you'd have to stay at home. You'd have to stay home and not go anywhere. Quarantine, baby. Quarantine life. But somehow Bayern bended that rule because we own Germany, baby. Bayern Munich, we own that. We own that big old country. And I'm happy Gnabry's with the team. He's traveling to Lokomotiv Moscow. Don't worry, I'll do the preview on that. We're going to do a very cold preview. Get it? Because it's snowing outside. It snows in Russia. It's cold in Russia. That's the general, I guess, misconception maybe. So I'll be doing it outside in the snow. I don't know. I'm in class watching. Get to class. Get those A's and B's and C's and D's and F's. Go fail that class. Stop watching me. Okay, but seriously, there are a lot more things to talk about for the one person that said I'm only going to do this to talk about Gnabry. Disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful. There's something Thomas Müller said that I absolutely agree with. Thomas Müller said, people use the excuse of the congested schedule to justify poor performances. And I agree, okay? I think a lot of players and a lot of teams are going to be using the excuse that, oh, we played every 2 days, injuries, to justify their poor performances. I mean, this whole season is going to be about tiredness. And the best thing about that is that we have depth. Gnabry's back, so we have every one of our wingers fit. Is this Bayern Munich? Is this my team? Because I don't remember the last time we had 2 wingers fit. I've seen Thomas Müller right wing more than I've seen some players be fit for us. Thomas Müller right wing, baby. That's all I know. So every single one of our wingers is fit. Douglas Costa's fit. And we even have some other options. We have Jamal Musiala on the bench. Every single one of our wingers is fit. Gnabry, Sané's fit. So is Douglas Costa. This has never happened at Bayern where every single one of your wingers is fit. That's probably the most injury-prone position we have ever had in our club's history. Like, it's just it. So I'm actually surprised all of our wingers are fit. And Müller said the whole thing about, it's just about, not using the excuse of the schedule to look at anything. Speaking on winning the Champions League, Flick wants to do it again. I mean, Flick isn't really going to ever say, well, we're going to win it. Yeah, he's not going to say that. But you can tell we have the confidence. Everything's going on our side. We have the form. But one thing he did say, or Müller said this, right? Because typically they pick one player to do the press conference with. You can just do it with Müller because we all know he'll start. But one thing he said was that, of course, the team is feeling good now, but that's not the case. And he hopes that's the case in April and March, where I guess that's the most important part of the Champions League campaign. Because March and April, those are your knockout games, your big ones, your Champions League semifinals and quarterfinals. So for me, I can't wait for March and April. I think, that's why everyone's always like, Bayern are winning. Oh, congratulations, Bayern, on another Champions League. We don't know what we're going to play like in March. We don't know what injuries we'll get. We don't know these things. That's why I'm hoping that in the next 2 months, okay, look, it's just a crazy thing that came to my head, okay? We'll have a break, a nice little, I guess, winter break, 10 days. It's not really a break. You'll have that in December, right? And then you'll have your Champions League knockout rounds beginning in February, or it might be even earlier. Yeah, February 15th, and then like the 25th. Yeah. So for me, what I'm thinking is that all our injuries need to happen between January and February, and they all return in February for the knockout rounds to start. That's what I'm thinking. Does everyone else agree with that? Because that's what we need to happen, right? I think that's what we need. So our injuries need to happen as soon as possible. You know what? Davies' injury, 6 weeks. It was called Thiago Dantas Hopefully he's not injured. I didn't hear any confirmations about it, so I think it might just be a little knock. That's it. So with Thiago Dantas, we have a good left. Oh, this Remy Vitek. Oh my God. So I rewatched the replay for the Bayern 2 game, and I was just going on Thiago Dantas' parts and Zirkzee parts. And this Remy Vitek, I'm telling you, this 19-year-old Remy Vitek, where did he come from? I believe we got him from Paris or from France somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of like, well, I guess he's just going to be a second team left back. But he looks decent. Remy Vitek looks decent. He looks like he has a lot of pace. Defensively, he made one tackle. He's 5'7", really short. But we had a magic dwarf at right back, Philipp Lams, or left back too. So Remy Vitek could be an option on the bench, of course, and then you'd have Lucas start. Zirkzee was awful in the match. You know what? Zirkzee should definitely see himself improve. I think that's what I want. We got him from the second French league. Wow, he's gonna play for the first Bayern team league. Okay, but yeah, Zirkzee, I don't know. See, that's what I need from Zirkzee, right? If the Bayern 2 games, if the academy games are to get him to improve, then I need to see him improve. His first touch, lackluster, and that's something that he needs to fix. He did one really good movement where he touched the ball, great touch, and then he got past the goalkeeper, and nothing happened from it, where there was 2 passes on the edge of the box, and he tried to whip it into no one. So Zirkzee needs to improve his awareness. That's the most important thing, because he does have the talent. He can finish, but Zirkzee definitely has to work on his awareness, because I can't believe he got past the goalkeeper and didn't make the right decision. So, you were turned homosexual for Lewandowski. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with these comments, man? Why is everyone acting all sus today? We're not playing that Among Us game. Who do you think will play in the left back position? Well, it's going to be Lucas Hernandez, because Hansi Flick loves Alaba. Woo! Flick looks at Alaba and he sees the Kaiser. He sees Franz Beckenbauer, Black Kaiser. I don't know. He sees someone, because, you know what? I see it. Because against Atletico Madrid, Alaba definitely played well, and I understand why he started. But before that, I would have dropped him, put Davies at left back and Lucas at left center back. And it didn't happen. And against Frankfurt, again, I kind of felt like Alaba was shaky. And maybe Flick knows more than we do. Maybe Flick knows and understands Alaba's personality, so he has to play him, and then maybe that's how we get Alaba back into form, right? Maybe. He was very desperate as well, being very selfish. Yeah, so we need Zirkzee to improve. And that's what I don't understand. People were like, oh, next Lewandowski, which, you know what? That could be the case. But you need Zirkzee to improve a lot of things. He has a lot to improve. In the air, he's not commanding. Lewandowski is commanding in the air. We can't compare him to Lewandowski, which is why we should have never brought up the comparison in the first place. Because Lewandowski is a world-class striker. I think he's one of the greatest strikers of all time. Like, I don't care what anyone tells me. This guy's consistency and his technical ability and everything, he has everything. There's nothing in his vision. Over the last few months, he moved from goal scoring to getting assist. He almost broke a Champions League record for assist from a striker. I mean, and also almost broke the records for the most goals scored in a single campaign. So I need Zirkzee to improve, and I hope he does, because that's honestly the best case scenario for Bayern. Because I see him as a good bench player, someone to bring on. I don't necessarily see him as a 30 goal per. No, I don't really see him as a 30 goal striker per season. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. But there are other things that they said in the nice little press conference. I mean, this is what I like. I'll do the preview. Don't worry. I'll bring the Russian to BayernNow. So Muller says, however, I have confidence in the team, of course, right? Confidence. And we don't look at records. I mean, look, over the last 2 games, we conceded no goals against Atletico Madrid. And everyone's like, well, Atletico defended for 180 minutes, but we only played 90 minutes. So that wasn't possible. But seriously, though, I saw something very important, right? I think what we did against Atletico, people won't look at. Neuer had a few saves to make. I don't think they were big saves, but we neutralized them. I think the best thing you have to do, Leipzig did it when you played Atletico, Real Madrid do it all the times, and Pep Guardiola forgot to do it. Atletico Madrid defends so deep that the space isn't actually behind their defense. Don't try and get in behind them. I mean, under Pep, we did create a lot of chances. But the best thing, the most important chances, don't try and get in behind Atletico. Kimmich did, but that's because he's Kimmich and that pass was sexy. Just try and pick the pockets in front of their defense. Because once you do that, you draw players to you. Liverpool did it. They didn't win the game because they didn't take their chances. Again, draw them into the edge of the box and then play the killer pass to someone. Kimmich did it. The tackle, it drew players. They started coming out because they love to, keep their defensive structure and move up a little bit. And Kimmich picked out a pass to Gnabry. And then when you have a crap right back like Kieran Trippier, who's tripping out here on some drugs, he won't defend that. So I think what we did against Atletico was so versatile. I didn't realize. Tolisso's goal was the epiphany of that game because we were picking them apart. The passes we were getting, we would draw them in, and then there'd be a run in behind. And that's what Kimmich did, and that's what Muller did for Coman's last goal. Draw them in, and then a pass in behind. And that's how you beat a team that parks the bus. And we did the exact same thing against Frankfurt. We draw them in, and then a magical thing, right? We draw them in, and then Lewandowski is next to the center backs because they defend deep. So I'm happy that we beat Atletico. That's why I was so happy. Of course, I wanted an English team, but I was actually really happy with the fact that, Samsung chairman. I like Samsung. That's my phone. Okay. I like the fact that we picked up Atletico because we can flex our muscles and flex our versatility in the games. So I'm really happy. So those two games that Muller talked about, I really enjoyed. Not about the clean sheet. We could have conceded 5. As long as we beat them 10-0 or 5-3, I don't care. But for me, it was just about the manner in which we won. So should Coman start over Sané? Yes. Yeah, you have to, right? Unless it's about resting him, which I wouldn't. I'd keep playing him. If he's fit, keep playing him. Don't rest him and then he gets injured in training and then you're like, he should have played more. No. Keep playing Coman because now that Sané's back, now that Gnabry's back, I think Coman's thinking in the back of his head, well, I have to have a better game than I did against Atletico. And we're talking about Atletico Madrid here. This guy scored twice against Atletico. That's a big, big thing. No one's going to think about that, but twice against Atletico Madrid. If you can, you have to put the Atletico tax, right? The Atletico Madrid tax. That's basically 10 goals. He scored 10 goals in one game. He scored 10 goals in 18 minutes. Double what Lewandowski did in double the time. 5 goals in 9. That's what Coman did. Because 2 goals against Atletico is essentially 10 goals against another opposition. So for me, the Atletico tax counts. So you have to keep playing Coman. I would play Coman for this next game. And I think that's going to keep him boosted. And then the fact that Sané's on the bench and so is Gnabry to take a spot anytime. If he can understand that, I'd probably start Douglas Costa too. I wouldn't start Sané. Sané's not really... You saw, he needs a little bit more time. I think that's what we lacked at the beginning of the season because we didn't have anyone else to play. Coman was in quarantine. Ironically, Serge Gnabry escaped it faster. Gnabry is just, this guy's lucky. I think I remember him getting this muscle injury while we were in the winter break last season. And then he came back. I don't know, Gnabry, I'm telling you, he's just knock prone. He's a knock merchant. He picks up knocks and then he's back. He never gets an ACL or a knee injury. That won't happen. So, yeah, I think we play Coman. Coman, top 5 wingers. He's a top 5. He's the top 1 player. How many people can score 2 goals against Atletico? Not even Lionel Messi can do that. No chance of dropping Muller. Who would want to drop Muller? What would we drop Muller to do? To go pick someone up from Munich? Because he's not tired. Did he tell you he was tired? Well, Muller had the press conference with Flick, which is essentially a sign that he will play. This will be shorter. I think we're towards the end of this. What's wrong with Sané? I don't know what you mean. What's wrong with Sané? What, he has a bigger forehead? I guess he'll be bald soon. That's what's wrong with Sané. I don't know what would be wrong with Sané. Hey, leave the naming to me. What do you mean Komane? What? That's terrible. Sanabry's the best version. Goman. No, that's a terrible name. Terrible name. Leave the namings to George. George is better at them than everyone else. That's a terrible name. So, Yeah. On Musiala. That's who I want to talk about too. I was thinking he should start. I know he's in form though. I mean, even when we played Durant, I thought he should have started against Belfield. I know 2 days after, so that made sense. I don't know. Flick loves to talk about how players have a lot to improve. I'm starting to think Hansi just says that just to keep them grounded. But I see the kid. He's playing a lot. I mean, he's very mature. I mean, maybe it's just a purple patch, and yeah, there will be a time where he won't be scoring every time he comes off the bench. But I like the fact that he's trying these things. So I feel like we should have started him against Lokomotiv Moscow. But then I think about it and I'm like, well, that's me. That's maybe because I'm underrating Lokomotiv Moscow. Everyone says I overrate our opposition because I focus all the previews on them. But maybe because I'm thinking of Lokomotiv Moscow as these big farmers. But they actually have some very good players. I only know about two. There's Eder up top and someone else at the back. Some very big players. So I think they have the goalkeeper that Russia had at the World Cup. Very good goalkeeper. So what's his name? Forgot it. So Lokomotiv Moscow, I was thinking of starting Musiala. I would have started him. But he has a lot to improve. Flick says our plan, develop him step by step. I think this step now is to get him 15 minutes to show what he can do against Frankfurt. His first few touches, he tried something. He lost the ball. And then I like his work rate. He works hard. He was running hard. He was running back and tracking back. I thought we were playing track and field. I don't know, man. Musiala doing what he can do. And I think the next step is that, I guess, fear factor. He's building his confidence. Right, someone said pretty soon, no, I don't want to rush these players. That's why I wanted depth. That's why I didn't want him to be our backup winger. You need them to develop and mold. You don't want them starting so young, especially when, in a weird way, they're in form. So you don't want them to lose that confidence to try things if they're not scoring a goal or they make a mistake. So Musiala's development, I agree with Flick. He takes the right steps, and as a manager, that's what you manage the situation. Musiala is a very talented player. He can be world class. He's generational. He's Ronaldinho. Okay, I'm telling you. Neymar Jr. Yeah, so we have to take it slowly, though. We have to take it slowly. I know everyone's probably like, well, let's get him. Oh, I want to see more Rocca. Well, God, what's up, George HD? Okay, I want to see more. Oh, man, I love that. I loved it, but I had to leave. So more on the Rocca situation. Flick. You know what? I agreed with it. Hey, Hansi, you're just getting me to agree with you today. So on Rocca, man, of course Hansi would be there. So on Mark Rocca, I really wanted him to play against Belfield, and I thought he played very well against Durance, again, fifth-tier team, and we beat them very comfortably. We had no real danger coming out from their side. But what I did see with Rocca, he has a lot in his game that I think maybe none of our midfielders have. I think just, again, the tight space control, I don't know. I think he has that crazy, I think he's a Kimmich backup, right? I actually think so. I think he's the closest player in our team to Kimmich in terms of the passing. But I think even more so, he's more physical. I think he's a little bit faster and a little bit more dominant in the midfield. I think if you had a game with big, well, again, that doesn't really matter because if you have the ball, you don't need to be dominant in the midfield. You can be dominant by passing the ball better than the opposition. But Rocca needs to play, and Flick is saying he's doing well in training, and that's all we want to hear. And we're happy with him so far. That's it. Hansi's so monotone when he answers these questions. We're happy with him. He's doing well in training. We'll take it step by step. I mean, we don't want Rocca to start. No, we don't, because Goretzka and Kimmich are there. I think where we want him to start, if we're playing, I don't know, some very bad team in the Pokal, and we're going to play another big team a few days later. So that's where I'd want Rocca to start, in those Pokal games. Same with Alexander Newbell. As much as I say Neuer would never need rest, and Newbell would get arrested if he ever took some playtime from Neuer, I still feel like those cup games, those Pokal games, Hansi might be like, well, Newbell, go play those. Because we never did that, because Neuer was always fit. Yeah, just give Neuer a rest. Give my man a rest. He'll wear his flip-flops at home and enjoy TV with himself because he has no partners. Did you see Hansi Flick and Thiago Dantas? Thiago's injured, man. He's just like Thiago. Gets injured. Man, I love Thiago Dantas. Roca and Tolisso double pivot tomorrow. Do you want to see that? Hey, we played on Saturday, and it's Tuesday. That's 3 days. I don't think that's too much. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't think that's too much. Yeah, sure. That Gerard. Tolisso should start over Goretzka tomorrow. Goretzka should be rested. Hey, what would you guys go with? Just tell me your starting 11s. I'm guessing Neuer in goal. Yeah, what would your 11 for tomorrow be? I'm actually interested in that. Oh my God, it's tomorrow. I swear, I don't want to. I'm not driving anywhere tomorrow. Newbell did great against Durant. Seems really talented. Yeah. I thought he was very good coming off his line too. I think he was comfortable in possession. And this is one thing I said about him at Schalke. Everyone was like, George, he has a worse passing percentage. And I'm like, well, look at the players he's passing to. George, he has a terrible save percentage. Well, look at the amount of shots he's having to face. Newbell had a similar save percentage to Neuer, of course conceding more goals because he had to face more shots. So I think Newbell will be successful at Bayern. Maybe not in the next few years because Neuer is still in form. Neuer won't decline. I think Neuer could play till he's 40. You look at Buffon. Buffon, still going. So, but even more so, at this age, Buffon was already, I guess, in a way declining. I don't know. Gnabry, Sané, Coman, Lewandowski, Goretzka, Kimmich, Jula, Pavard, Hernandez, Boateng, and Neuer. Is that what your lineup would go? What makes Pavard good? For me, Sa seems to fit better into the team. What do you guys think? Well, what does everyone think about Pavard? Because if I say it, I just have an agenda. But I would say this. Pavard is a functional player. I don't think he's world class like some people say. World class means you do a job better than everyone else in the world does their job. I think if we had, Chris Richards a right back, and he had the exact same experience as Pavard, I think he'd be just as good. In my opinion, some people are trying to tell me Pavard is the next Philipp Lahm. That's a disrespect to Philipp. Philipp Lahm's literally the greatest right back of all time. I mean, this is a different level. For me, Pavard's a functional player, right? He does his job. That's it. He does his job, which is good, and he's consistent at doing his job. But at Bayern, we always want more than doing your job. We want you to do your job plus more, and that's just what we want. Everyone's gonna be demanding, and I'm not saying this to hate on Pavard. I'm just saying that's his game. He won't give you this incredible outlet. I mean, look at how we play with Davies versus Pavard. We always send that ball over the top to Davies because he's an outlet for us. And the modern fullbacks, as much as people don't want to admit it, modern fullbacks do need to be fast. You do need to have a little bit of that bite about you. Pavard, I think, in our entire squad, he's amongst for less successful pressures per 90. I was comparing Pavard and Davies. Davies and Lucas as well. Pavard isn't completing as many pressures per 90 because he doesn't have the pace or just that, explosion, right? So he doesn't really get himself in more duels. I don't know. I just think we'll see we'll see. I hope Pavard can continue to be consistent. He's not playing well now, and I want him to succeed because if he succeeds at Bayern, then we all succeed. But I just know his game isn't going to be, get a billion. I mean, his crossing, he floats every single cross. I'm not sure if he doesn't have the technical ability to actually whip it in. He rarely whips in a cross. When was the last time you saw him? He always floats it over, and then that's because it makes it accurate. It looks good, but then it never turns into anything. So we'll see. Lucas and Pavard too. Lucas is slow. Lucas is slow is like telling me Usain Bolt is slow because Lucas Hernandez is probably one of our fastest defenders. He is. I think he's top 2 with Niklas Jula. They're next to each other in terms of pace. I'm telling you. So, I mean, everyone does have their opinions, right? Rafinha was better than Sa. I mean, I'd say yes. I really like Rafinha. You know what, Rafinha. As much as I say he was, of course, just a bench player, he did start, and when he did, he gave his all, but especially defensively. But that's what you get when you sign Rafinha, players like him, and that's it. That's normal. So you'd go with goalkeeper Pavard, Neuer, a goalkeeper, right back Pavard, Boateng is Jula, Alaba left back. No Lucas. I would probably start Lucas. I feel like even though he came on in the second minute against Frankfurt, I'd start Lucas. And then so Gnabry's back for anyone joining late. 4 days after his I'm telling you, German efficiency, baby. My goodness. Gets injured, he's back 2 days later. So, yes, somehow we bended the rules, feeling like Doctor Strange. Dormammu, we need the bargain. 4 days out, and then he came back. So he tested positive before, tested negative. I still don't know what the hell that means. I don't know. Oh, so well, he wouldn't have had the virus before because they did all these tests. They do testing consistently, right? So it's not like he would have had the virus and then they discovered it right when it was over. No, because they tested him the day before. So he tested positive and then 2 days later, it's gone. That's athletes for you. Cristiano Ronaldo's probably ready. Yeah, that's athletes. I mean, I even think I had COVID, but I don't know. I think people under 70. I don't get it. For me, Pavard is decent. He isn't great, but he isn't bad. That's what I feel about him too. As a squad player, we miss him when he's injured. We don't see him as the best right back. He's good at defense, but he's awfully limited. Okay, what is everyone's thoughts on Pavard? Pavard is a great rotational right back. I mean, it sounds like we hate Pavard, but we don't. I don't hate Pavard. I mean, people will make you think you hate someone you don't, but I don't hate Pavard. I just think he's limited. I think he's not bad like you said, but he's not great. You could do better, but then you can't do worse. That's it. He's in the middle. He's the middle class. You're not rich, but you're not poor. So he's ranked third best right back in 1920. Well, someone did something wrong. Hansi Flick's tactics are versatile. There is no center back, left back. Try to understand. That's why Bayern are we do have a left back and a center back. We do play with a left back. Yes, we're versatile, and that means we can have anyone play anywhere. But yes, we do have a left back. We do have a right back. We do have a center back and players that play in those positions. Oh yeah, Tactical Manager TV. Go check it out. We did a really nice video on Man United, and we're doing another one on the U.S. men's national team. So yeah, check out his channel. I'll share it with everyone. I forgot to. So yeah, you like him? That's it. I wouldn't say he's one of those players that you either hate or love. I think he's literally in between. He shows himself. He gives his all, but is his all everything? Yeah, that's why I really wanted Dest. I didn't want Dest just because he would have been a backup. I wanted Dest because I knew, this guy can start and he can be one of the best in the world. I agree. I think all our players need to be some of the best in the world. Davies is the best left back in the world. We have Lucas Hernandez, Alaba, some of the best center backs in the world. Jula, Boateng, prime Boateng. Boateng was literally unplayable. I mean, everyone talks about Van Dijk, but Boateng had a year where he won the World Cup. He was unplayable in 2014, 2013, 2012. Boateng was exceptional in 2015 and 16. And then ever since 16, I'd say he started declining. But Boateng was unplayable for a long time, right? He was an amazing center back. We have the greatest goalkeeper of all time, Manuel Neuer. This guy he's crazy. Every player talks about Neuer like he's this wall. I'm telling you, man, he is a wall. And then we have the best striker in the world. We have the best attacker, all-round player in the world, Thomas Müller, in my opinion. I think he's all-round game, shooting, passing, everything. He's everything for us. We have some of the best wingers in the world already, or they're developing and molding into that with more consistency in games. We have Kimmich, the best midfielder in the world, in my opinion. Goretzka, the best box-to-box midfielder in the world. I think every position we have one of the best in the world, or the best, but maybe just not right back, right? Kimmich a right back. That's why I was so reluctant to send Kimmich to the midfield. Now I've kind of warmed up to it. If you could give me Kimmich a right, I'd probably still take him midfield, right? Because he is the best midfielder in the world. I was wrong, okay? Kimmich is unplayable in midfield. Look what he did against Atletico, right? I was wrong in the sense that I wanted him a right back. I mean, I always said he'd be world class anywhere, but I didn't think he'd be the best in the world, like that level. But Kimmich just keeps getting better and better. But what I would say is that it was hard for me to just say, oh, Kimmich, go back to midfielder. Because this kid broke some sort of record for the most assists accumulated from one position by a defender. Like in one season. Kimmich broke that. And I think Kimmich was just the best right back in the world. He had one of the best right back seasons in the world. This guy pocketed Mane at Liverpool. He did everything. And he was so involved in the play. And him and Gnabry had a connection. So, yeah, I think that's it. So, and let's see what Bonasad does at right back. Because I want him to succeed. If he succeeds at Bayern, then Bayern succeed. Muzigola. Oh, God, you need to stop giving these terrible names. This is a disgrace. If I taught you anything, you have to add some sauce to it. You know, you have to add something saucy to it. What about that Paul Pogba thing? Apparently he pulled out of the French national team just for me to find out he didn't. I swear, there's a lot of fake news out there. I think, you know, there's so much fakeness. Thoughts on Kouassi? Oh, Tangai's coming back. I think Tangai could be one of the best center backs in the world. I think we need to give him the opportunity to take his time. Yeah, that's it. Take his time. If Tanguy Kouassi can have minutes like Musiala's having, first of all, I think he can be. He's 18. He's young. He just turned 18 too. It's not like he's Tanguy Niaz. Well, he likes to be called Nianzu. I'm calling you Kouassi. He's not 183 pounds. What the hell is Google smoking? So it's not the weed we smoke. Not that I smoke any weed. Well, they're definitely smoking something not good. So yeah, his middle name's Austin. Oh my God, what a white, just blank, bland middle name, Austin. God, I have a friend named Austin, and that's a regular name. Okay, but yeah, so he's 18, June 7th. I'm telling you, 17. A few months ago, and he's 18. I think he can be very world class, but we need to give him, again, time. With these young players, it's about time. But he was already in the PSG team. I can see Kouassi displacing one of our center backs in the near future, like in the next few months. I can see him doing that. This guy in training was just unplayable. He made this one tackle. I was like, why'd you do that, man? You made him look bad. So we'll see what happens with him. His ball progression skills are very good. I think at 18, that's what you see with players that will be world class. You see him play at a level that they don't look like they should be playing at. This guy's so composed. So, hey, what's everyone's thoughts on this? Kimmich's contract will expire in 2022. So we'll have a few contracts that would have a year left. So we need to start renewing them. I was just thinking of that. I think Goretzka's contract expires in 2022 as well. Yeah. Let me just check it for you. Yeah, I was thinking about that. So we need to start thinking about Kimmich's contract. Oh no, it's 2023. Never mind. We have 3 years left. Never mind. Kimmich, we don't need to renew. I mean, you might do it just for the rewarding. Oh, or Goretzka's expires in 2022. So hey, we might need to start thinking about these contracts because Leonardo da Vinci Goretzka. He needs to keep creating art for us. I mean, this guy has 3 goal contributions in 5 Bundesliga games, 1 goal in the Champions League, 1 goal in the Super Cup. He won us a Super Cup. I mean, of course, Javi did something great. But remember, Sevilla scored first, and we had to come in. And Goretzka kept his composure and scored for us. Leonardo da Vinci Goretzka. Bayern should have no problem renewing their contracts. Yeah, like Thiago and Alaba. We should have renewed Thiago's contract way before. I mean, there was a point where it was done. Like every news journalist said it was done. We should have just renewed it quickly before Thiago had time to change his mind. City going for Nagelsmann. Well, that's dumb. Well, Nagelsmann will coach Bayern one day. Well, there's no news about it. It's just Pep Guardiola will get sacked. I mean, Pep is a fraud. It's confirmed. I was reading. Pep is a fraud. I think he. You know what? Marcelo Bielsa is a better manager than Pep Guardiola. Everyone's like, well, but Pep's influence in football. No. Marcelo Bielsa's done more. Jurgen Klopp is managing his way out of having no Virgil van Dijk, his best player. And Pep can't manage his way out of having 50 million players on the bench. I'm telling you, okay? Pep's a fraud. He's a fraud. And I'm saying it now. He took the best Barca team, Ronaldinho. He had everything for him. And then he took the best Bayern team. He had Schweinsteiger in his prime, Robin in his prime, Ribery in his prime. He even sold Mandzukic to Atletico Madrid. Pep had everything. He even had more. He had some plus more. He bought Götze. Pep had everything at Bayern, and at City he had everything. Still can't get to that mysterious Champions League. To him, the Champions League is just this thing on a pedestal. I don't know. He's a fraud. He's a false image. Everyone looks at him. They look at his trophies, and they forget that Luis Enrique won a billion trophies with Barcelona in 2015 and had an even worse team. Yeah, well, thank you everyone so much for watching. It's been an exciting show today. He's a fraud. No one can tell me anything. Mia san mia and peace. Marcelo Bielsa is this guy just said all he's better than. See that's the type of energy I don't want. This guy, man. Greetings from Romania. Man, I love my Romanian people. I'm telling you, man. I'll be in Romania someday. I'll go to Bucharest. I'll be there. Don't worry. Did I say Mia said